Datuk Seri Najib Razak's 1MDB trial will start on August 19th, as scheduled after the court refused to grant public prosecutors another postponement. AG Tommy Thomas was attempting to get the trial adjourned to ensure Najib's SRC international hearing is concluded before the 1MDB trial begins. This is because the prosecution still has 25 more witnesses to call for the ongoing hearing, and Thomas says the SRC international trial is moving slower than expected. He argues that Najib cannot attend both hearings at the same time. Thomas's application was supported by Najib's lawyer, Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah. But High Court Judge Colin Lawrence Sakera rejected Thomas's application and ruled that the 1MDB trial will commence at 9 a.m. August 19th as planned. The hearing will run until the first 2 weeks of November. Najib is facing 25 charges relating to graft and money laundering of 2.28 billion ringgit that had allegedly come from 1MDB. A claim filed by Putrajaya to seek 1.69 billion ringgit in additional taxes from Datuk Seri Najib Razak has been set for further case management on July 25th, while waiting for the Pekan MP to file his memorandum of appearance in the KL High Court. Najib was served with a writ of summons on July 4th. If he wishes to contest the government's claim, he must file the MOA to inform both the court and the government of his intention to do so. The government, through the Inland Revenue Board, filed a claim against Najib after he failed to respond to an initial inquiry from the taxman regarding additional tax assessment of 1.47 billion ringgit in March. The lack of response resulted in the total tax bill rising 10% or 147 million ringgit in April, followed by a compounded 5% or 80 million ringgit increase in May. The development confirms a news report by the Edge Financial Daily on April 1st this year that the IRB had slapped Najib with an extra tax bill for the assessment years of 2011 to 2017 to the tune of about 1.5 billion ringgit. MOF says 486,360 taxpayers have revealed their previously undeclared income under the Inland Revenue Board's Special Voluntary Disclosure Program as of June 23rd. Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Amiruddin Hamzah says Putrajaya will announce the total tax collection under the program by the end of this year. He hopes that there will be more people participating in the program as the penalty is significantly lower. Once the program expires, the government believes that with the automatic exchange of information initiative by the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, it will be more effective to detect offshore banking activities. Amiruddin says people who have not made proper declarations should do so now, before the authorities take a more aggressive measure against them. Without the program, the penalty against undeclared income can go up to 300% on the amount of tax payable, versus the 10 and 15% under the tax amnesty program. Shares in IHH Healthcare fell as much as 16 cent or 2.7% to 5 ringgit and 70 cent today as investors turn wary after the Turkish Lira weakened against the US dollar. This is after Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan dismissed the head of the country's central bank, apparently for refusing to lower interest rates. The central bank has kept its interest rate at 24% since last September to support the weaker lira, but Erdogan reportedly believes the current rate is too high and therefore harming the economy. The news sent the currency slipping by over 2% versus the US dollar. IHH's earnings were affected by the Turkish lira crisis last year after recognizing foreign exchange losses on 60% owned Akibadem's non-lira denominated borrowings. The Turkey-based healthcare group contributes about one-third of the group's revenue. In May, IHH's foreign currency-denominated debt reportedly stood at 420 million USD versus 670 million USD in December 2018. Its shares ended the day 2% lower at 5 ringgit and 75 cent for a market capitalization of 50.45 billion ringgit. Bank Negara's decision to cut the OPR by 25 basis points pushed loan approvals up by 13% month-on-month in May. Deputy Finance Minister Datuk Amiruddin Hamzah told the Dewan Rakyat today that in contrast, April's loan approvals 1 month before the rate cut was down by 1% compared with March. He added that loan approvals for motorcycles in the month of May were up by 7.8%, while loan approvals for passenger cars climbed 23.3%. Bank Negara had on May 7th cut the OPR to 3% in its first rate cut since July 2016. The central bank had cautioned against downside risk to growth from heightened global and domestic uncertainties, trade tensions, and extended weaknesses in sectors related to commodities. It is seen leaving the OPR unchanged at 3% at its Monetary Policy Committee meeting tomorrow. Most research houses also expect Bank Negara to stay put on the OPR for the rest of the year. The central bank expects Malaysia's GDP to grow by between 4.3 and 4.8% this year.